Growing up, when I had it, I really didn't know I had it. And it didn't affect me none then. When it attacked me real bad. Matter of fact, it paralyzed me. It was a real bad surgery I had to have, and it was like a 50-50 chance. But I knew sooner or later, eventually, that I was going to come to what I came to. I grew up in Baker, Louisiana, and I was raised in Baker. In school, I was on the wrestling team, and I had no problem with working on the railroad, you know, with the problem scoliosis. And I was a conductor, brakeman, switchman, in the yard, different yards or whatever. I had no problem with it then. You know, matter of fact, they used to call me the sidewinder. Here lately in the last year, you know, it got better, you know, and it disabled me to do what I normally do, and I couldn't do nothing. And so when I went to have it checked or whatever, I went to a spine diagnostic here in Baton Rouge. And when he diagnosed me or whatever, it was so severe, damaged bad, and he told me there was nothing that he can do at the time. And so that's when he recommended me to go to a spine specialist in New Orleans. And that's when I got introduced to Dr. Kalyvas.
Roy came to my attention. He was referred from an orthopedic spine surgeon in Baton Rouge, and he had seen multiple surgeons in the past. He was born with a spinal condition called congenital kyphoscoliosis, which means his spine was deformed in two planes, leaning forward at the neck and also leaning to the side. His head was basically fixed to his chest, and his ear was also fixed to the shoulder. He had lived a full, fairly healthy life with this deformity, but he was losing function neurologically. In studying the case and preoperative planning and discussing in multidisciplinary teams, it became clear that we had to correct the deformity in order to address the spinal cord issue. That required what's called a VCR, a vertebral column resection. That is where we remove the entire level of the spine. We had to remove that 360 degrees from the back of the spine to the front and essentially disconnect his head and neck from his body. And most of the surgeries that I do are high risk. This is the highest risk surgery that I've been presented with, frankly.
I was ready. Whatever the outcome would have been, I was ready. Because we discussed 50-50. And you know what 50-50 is. So I ain't got to tell you that. Went on and had the surgery, stayed in surgery approximately about 12 hours. I went through it all.
Normally, a standard problem requires kind of standard imaging, which would be CAT scans and MRIs, which are incredibly useful. But in complex situations, the next step in spine is usually to get a 3D printed model. So here we are in Ochsner Neuroscience's 3D lab, and it's really a cutting-edge facility for 3D printing of pathology and patient anatomy. You can see one of the models being printed right now on the 3D printer. This three-dimensional representation is really how we intuitively think about things. So patients will often understand their pathology a lot better and have this aha moment. I've had patients that have decided to go ahead with surgery, whereas they were not pursuing surgery even though they needed it. So I think it's just an intuitive model for patients. Then I would say the next step after 3D print would be a virtual reality model. And virtual reality adds all the things that 3D prints do, except you can manipulate it as a surgeon even further. It's more immersive. So you can make the model large or small. You can make components of the model transparent or opaque. And so you can isolate certain features of the anatomy and focus on them. So tell me how you've been doing last couple of months.
Ever since I had the surgery or whatever, people just been telling me how good I look. Oh, Roy, you look so pretty. And I said, well, you might well just call me a pretty boy.
What we're looking at here is 3D prints of your spine. This is the before, and then this is the post-operative 3D print. And you can see I'm orienting these as if you were standing, and you can see the dramatic difference.
Okay.
And you can also sort of see all of the hardware that's now in your spine and neck. You're the bionic man now.
That tells you something right now on how good that engine is. This is my exercise bike. I get on this bike every day. That exercise my legs, get my legs strong or whatever. When I first come, I couldn't even much get on the thing. And as time went on, the Lord aided me for to get on it. Ain't that nice?
Roy had lived his whole life literally with his chin on his chest and his ear on his shoulder. So he had a slanted worldview. We've literally given him a new perspective on life. For the first time, he can maintain a horizontal, neutral gaze looking out at the horizon. And it's just incredibly inspiring as a story. And his thriving beyond recovery. He's thriving better than ever before. I mean, that's just so awe-inspiring to me.
I tell you, this is my exercise I get every day. I walk from my driveway to that stop sign, and that strengthens your legs. Make all your whole body just get stronger and stronger. And I feel so much better once I've done it, you know. I'll be glad when I'm able to run. Even though I suffer with neuropathy, my feet killing me right now, but I still got to do what I got to do. You know, it's all good. Being able to walk, that's the main thing. Being able to do something for yourself. Moving ahead. Keep on keeping on.